I am reading from the book Catechism and Stories by Reverend Lawrence G. Lovisick, adapted for radio. The creation and the fall of man. Man is a creature composed of body, soul, and spirit, and made to the image and likeness of God. God is what is called Trinity, meaning three persons in one God. This is a mystery beyond our comprehension. The first man and woman were Adam and Eve. They were the first parents of the whole human race. The chief gift bestowed on them was sanctifying grace, which made them children of God and gave them the right to heaven. God bestowed other gifts on Adam and Eve: happiness in the Garden of Paradise, great knowledge, control of the passions by reason, and freedom from death. God gave Adam and Eve the commandment not to eat the fruit of a certain tree that grew in the Garden of Paradise. However, Adam and Eve did not obey this commandment. They ate of the forbidden fruit. On account of their sin, they lost sanctifying grace, the right to heaven, and their special gifts. They became subject to death and a strong inclination to evil. They were driven from the Garden of Paradise. Because of the sin of Adam, we, his descendants, come into the world deprived of sanctifying grace. This sin in us is called original sin. We inherit Adam's punishment as we would have inherited his gifts had he been obedient to God. The chief punishments of Adam, which we inherit through this original sin, are death, ignorance, and a strong inclination to sin. Our story today, called A Lost Title. Bill Cosgrove and Jerry Benton were inseparable friends all through grade school and high school. Bill was clever in the use of his hands. Beginning with nothing, he found himself at 60 years old the head of a huge factory. Jerry had little success. Born poor, he grew up and remained poor. Even worse, he had a weakness for drink. He had married and now had a large family. He could always count on Bill for a job between drinking spells. Once, a few days before Christmas, Bill came in to find Jerry where he worked. "Jerry, old boy," he said, "this year I'm giving you a Christmas present with a hook." Jerry looked up. "What's that?" he asked with a grin. "I'm giving you the best car money can buy, to use right now. I'll give you the title to it, and if you can go 6 months without drinking." Jerry flushed red. "You don't need to do that," he protested. In the end, Jerry drove the new car home, much to the delight of his teenage boys. But Jerry attended a few parties during the holidays, and on New Year's Eve, he was in no condition to drive a car. In the early hours of the new year, the police notified his family that Jerry had lost his life in a head-on auto collision. The car was a hopeless wreck. After the funeral, the Benton boys decided to ask their father's friend, Bill Cosgrove to replace the car, since he had insurance on it, and still held the title. They approached him on the matter. "No, boys," answered Bill, "I'm sorry, but I gave that car to Jerry on one condition, which he did not keep. He was the best friend I ever had, and I loved him. I wish you boys well, but you must earn your own cars. I don't owe you anything." Adam and Eve did not obey the commandment of God, but ate of the forbidden fruit. Like Jerry, they did not keep their word and lost a gift, not only for themselves, but also for their children. Original sin does not take away from us anything to which we have a real right as human beings, but only those gifts which would have been ours had our first parents not lost them through sin. Like the Benton boys, we have lost a gift that God meant us to share and enjoy. God created Adam and Eve in a state of grace, fit for heaven, which was their birthright. But because of their sin of our first parents, we are born without the grace and other gifts that God meant us to have. Jesus won back this grace for us, and with it our right to heaven by his death on a cross. Only mortal sin can take away these from us. But we must avoid all sin, especially mortal sin, that we may remain in the friendship of God and one day be with him in heaven.